Well, hello, friends. Welcome back to my favorite podcast of the week. I hope it's your favorite podcast of the week as well, Location Weekly. I'm Aubriana Lopez, and I am joined by a very special guest many of you know and love, just like I do, Karsten. So glad to have you here. It
Hello,
is
thank you very much for having me. Great to be back on the podcast. Also my favorite podcast.
good, good. So glad to hear that. Yes, it is Tuesday, March 7th, and we're recording live. I am coming from stateside, Karsten from Germany. And how's it going? How are you?
Well, actually very good. So we had a great week with the LBMA and also the company I work with. So we had to attend two trade shows. So first trade show for the retail industry, the biggest trade show for the retail industry called Euroshop in Düsseldorf. I was amazing to see after NRF where we had this joint yeah dinner with the LBMA and our best retail cases now back in Germany, the biggest show. And also after that, and this I remember very well, long time ago, we met in Barcelona at the Mobile World Congress. So a lot of fun there. Tapas and also a lot of great companies. Good to see the big events are back in the game. Very important. Everybody was hungry just to see each other and exchange knowledge and news. So that was amazing. Yes, it's good.
Yes, I saw all the posts going out on LinkedIn of, longtime industry friends that were back at Mobile World Congress. And I don't know if you remember Tom Daly, who used to be with Coca-Cola. He and I were, having a conversation about just the many good memories and all of the knowledge and just like great connections that we had throughout the years. So I would love to get back to Barcelona one day, one of my favorite cities and certainly one of my favorite events. So just like so energizing.
Absolutely. The only thing, it was super cold. It was like the same temperature like in Munich, so winter, 0 degrees nights, 6, 8 degrees during the day with wind. So that was very, you can hear it on my voice. It's still some cold there, but this is what you get if you go to the big shows.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad you have a little bit of a voice to share with us today because we have four great stories for you up ahead. And as usual, I will kick it off. So this is a very location-based story, I will say, and this is about Immersal Oy. So Immersal Oy, if you don't know, is part of the Hexagon community or the larger corporation. And what they focus on are building these world-class spatial mapping and visual positioning tools. So the foundation of the metaverse, they were founded in 2015, and they're based in Helsinki, Finland. And they work with partners and developers and creators across like a variety of different use cases, whether that's, about how we explore, interact, create. But this immersive city scale visual positioning system is actually what they've launched. And so you may have seen this when you were out at Mobile World Congress because that's when they announced it. And so it's this immersive city scale visual positioning system, and it's a 5G enabled like city scale, smart city. And really it's supposed to have like this unmatched accuracy, like unparalleled, giving new business opportunities for these mobile network operators and their customers. So um, this is like indoor based accuracy for mobile network operators and their enterprise customers. So, think of those that might be utilizing, let's say, a Verizon. Well, maybe not a Verizon since this is more, your side of the pond, but some of those big, big mobile network operators, they need that visual positioning system. And so this is like a city scale wide solution, which is really, really interesting. So mobile network operators can purchase the immersive city scale VPS maps, and then they can sell those services to other companies or enterprise companies that might build off of their network. So think of food delivery, postal service, public safety, gaming, entertainment, retail, all of those different use cases amongst advertising, right? So these advanced capabilities provide better mapping, access to location data, indoor and outdoor, which we know can be a challenge in some of these larger cities. So they have, proprietary computer vision algorithms, advanced mapping techniques. We won't get into all that technical detail at the moment, but few use cases they outlined that I thought were very interesting. Augmented reality experiences for tourists. So that's always fun. You're in Barcelona, maybe you want to check out something by some of the great artists that have built all over there. and perhaps location-based advertising and marketing. This is like a pretty standard when we talk about on the show. And then emergency response, so something very important for public safety, making sure that those healthcare professionals that are responding to something that's life-threatening can get to where they need to go as close as possible. So they're going to release this. They are releasing it this month in Helsinki. They're going to also release it in Tokyo, Seoul, and San Francisco before June. So I think this is pretty cool. I mean, I like that there's a lot of use cases. I think that there's always an opportunity to have more precision, especially when it comes to those emergency services. Obviously, advertising and marketing get the fun use cases, but the practical use cases I think are so important, to today's day and age. So what do you think?
First of all, I met those guys. We had a very serious conversation, even with the new managing director, about this. And it was cool. It was at the Ericsson booth, so behind the wall of Ericsson, was very interesting. Also to see other use cases, not only just Immersal, also the other guys. But in this case, it's a great opportunity to have an additional content layer for the outside world, because we have this different maps services around, and most of them are 2D maps with limited information, not very precise. So this is what we are fighting on a day-by-day basis with the LBMA, with the incorrect data sets and the mixture of these. And if it comes to the network operators, and I think this is the really fun part of the story, it is an additional revenue stream can be entered by that, because what they have right now, they have the super secured mobile tracking data, they have the geo fences, but they have no business model around that. And this is obviously one of the approach Immersal is doing. So just to showcase with these three cities, so they started in Helsinki, and you mentioned Tokyo and the other city too. But they will attract the network operators to make this happen, because somebody has to do the scanning. And we both know that 3D scans of cities are available. You can buy that outside from different vendors. I think this is now very interesting to see. And from my point of view, visual positioning systems is the future, but I will come to that later. Outside, the cool thing is nothing will change very quickly. So this is the cool thing about a city. If you make a picture and picture layers and a 3D model out of it, so they're not removing walls on a monthly basis. We have to think about the content, what is in the house, what shops are in there. That's the fun part of the story, but Google and Co can handle this. But the outside, the facade, the streets, they will be more or less what they are right now. So great project, cool guys, cool company. So also love to chat with them on a different level of what we can do together with the LVMA and things like that. Great to have the story here.
Amazing. So what's next?
Yeah, what's next? Yeah, it is. It was also one of the trends of the Mobile World Congress and the Euroshop event. It's about artificial intelligence, and a company called Standard AI, a San Francisco-based provider of AI solutions for retail, has agreed to acquire Skip. It's a self-checkout solution provider based in South Jordan, in Utah, according to press release. So what they will do, Standard AI will connect the self-checkout AI-powered checkout systems into the integrated experience with the customer. So checkout and additional information will be offered at the kiosk and also at the mobile checkout solutions. So bringing those both together is very interesting. So they will integrate Skip's cloud-based point of sale with the back office ecosystem to streamline operations and give a greater control over price, discounts, promotions. And I think this is where the fun part starts. Yeah, if you have AI powered promotions, discounts, and pricing. So this is even for us European not very common to change prices on a daily basis or on kind of what your membership level is. It's coming more and more, but I see it in North America and also in other parts of the world. So this, like at the gas station, you can come there and the price is changing on an hourly basis by whatever reason, and therefore using AI will makes 100% sense to me. And this is what those guys are doing. Yeah, let's see how that develops. And their goal is to have a checkout free retail experience. So this is where everybody's going. but I don't know if you saw the news. So Amazon is shutting down the first Amazon Go stores, even I think the first one they had in Seattle. So we visited them. So let's see. A lot of tech is in there. Maybe this solution not so much tech needed, but at the end of the day, it's a lot about fraud. So checkout systems is about yeah, how you prevent fraud at the POS. Anyhow, well, a great initiative, and it's great to see software company, AI-based companies, yeah, teaming up with more traditional parts of the journey. So, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, it is interesting to see that there's a lot of fluctuations, right? In this like self-checkout or scan and check out yourself, where's that balance? And it is definitely that balancing act between fraud prevention as well as like the ease of use and um, consumer time. And I find myself every time I'm going to check out somewhere, like what's going to be the quickest thing? Is it self-checkout? Or is it going to be just standing in line? Because sometimes, you've got the self checkout that's like yelling at you and it's so loud, it's embarrassing. You need somebody to come and like fix it every single time. So I think that the bottom line is there's a lot of opportunity for all the different technology, whether that be AI or just any point of sale. And fraud prevention to still come in and make an impact. I don't think that anybody has like really figured it out completely, and we're going to continue to see this being tested. So I think it's just something to pay attention to in an industry that we keep an eye on to see how
Absolutely.
it grows or what closes down even. Kind of in the same line, like around grocery stores, is this next story that we have, which is that the Independent Grocers Alliance, or IGA, which is an American chain of grocery stores that operates under this franchise model. And they've entered into a marketing agreement with a group that is called the Ideal by Design House. So, what they're doing is they're going to provide an on and off platform retail media network that's designed specifically with these independent retailers in mind, which I think is super smart, right? We've seen these other, retail media networks that have been blossoming up, whether that's like Kroger or maybe Target or somebody else. And so I think there's an opportunity for these individuals to kind of come together as almost like a co-op. And it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. So the CPG funded network is going to be available to all these independent retailers, not just the IGA family of stores, at no cost, according to this recent press release they put out. And it's going to combine thousands of stores into this single platform so they can offer this on and off platform ad placements. So think of CPG, manufacturers ads are going to be co-branded with these, neighborhood stores, leveraging the shopper loyalty across all of these different retailers so they can access the advanced measurement capabilities that we might see, at scale with like a larger branded or proprietary like retail network. And they'll have all of that in-store traffic, return on ad spend, basket size, like, growth categories. So they'll get all of those insights that maybe, an individual retailer would not be able to. So I think this is really cool. So they're also going to have this omni-channel distribution system, which would like have, integrating savings, informational videos, sweepstakes, recipes, all those fun things to have like more of an engagement play inside of the actual store, where they'll place, I guess, like, kind of digital out of home signage amongst other ways that they'll be integrating from a placement standpoint. So I think this is super smart. I think there's a huge amount of, well, I think this is like a very ripe area, right? Like it's still very green. There's a lot of room for growth, and it's just going to continue to evolve. But what I love about this is that being able to incorporate that CPG and SKU level data alongside of foot traffic and what's trending, and then being able to branch that out across a big network of stores that are individually owned is like just, I don't know, it's really smart. It's everything that they need. So I think this is a really bright idea.
And actually, this was one of the main topics also at Euroshop event in Düsseldorf. So how we can, yeah, make it possible that small shops and small businesses can also use new technology, and what's the benefit out of that, because most of them are struggling with totally different problems like the big ones can do them everything by themselves, the Walmarts of the world, the Schwarz Group, those kind of guys, they can do whatever they want. They have the money,
Right.
they have the resources, but the small company not. In terms when we talk about okay, basket size, these kind of things, yeah, it's fine, but having a KPI that the neighbor in the next town or doing something similar, yeah, with the store gives you an indicator if you're doing good or bad and just help to make it better. I think this is great, and also the opportunity to, yeah, open it for in terms of marketing to a new customer base, in terms of how, for example, we have one company with us at the Retail Local Conference a couple of weeks ago. So they are now offering hyper locally targeted TV advertisements out to connected TVs. Yeah. So even for a small store, if they know that this is the customer base, the potential customers are watching this series, whatever, they can just jump into for $50 or $100, something like that. And this is coming more and more, and that makes 100% sense to offer those kind of services.
Yep, absolutely. I think this is not only with the individual retail stores, but maybe those smaller CPG companies, right? So those that are
Yeah,
just
yeah.
getting started, that are not like the Procter and Gambles, that don't have hundreds and hundreds of brands, but maybe it's just like one niche product or one niche brand. I think you bring up a really good point on that.
Yeah, it's both sides. At the end of the day, it's both sides.
Yep. Yep.
All right, sorry. Obviously, somebody tried to come into the room. Anyhow, maybe a daughter. Just one left. The other one is in Spain. Anyhow, so let's jump into the next story, and this is great. So we have Immersal at the start, and we have Svarmony with the new product Aryve. And for those who know me, they know that I'm working for Svarmony since February this year. And there's a good reason for it. The reason is we were talking about indoor navigation and indoor positioning for decades. It feels like decades, even 10 years, something like that. And we tried beacons, we tried Wi-Fi, we tried sensors, IoT sensors, and it never worked as it should. Indoor navigation never worked as it should work. It was super expensive slash super hard to maintain in terms of beacons. You remember the old days where we had to change the batteries, so maintenance beacons, that was a topic. We had the light systems from Philips, which is just great. So Signify, I talked to those guys also at the Euroshop event. But yeah, Svarmony invited me in January to showcase their new product in the Deutsche Museum, which is the biggest tech museum in the world in Munich. And they have there their test installation, and they just gave me a phone and said, right, this is what it is. It's called Aryve. It's officially announced at the Euroshop event and at Mobile World Congress. And it's indoor navigation and wayfinding. VPS, again, as Immersal is doing it outside, we're doing it inside, and it's even much more harder because the environments are changing. You have this light, you have glass, things like that. You have people moving also. Excuse me. And so the good thing about the product Aryve is you don't need any hardware. So the only thing what we do, I have to say in this case, is we have to make a 3D scan of the venue. It could be airports, shopping malls, so these big ones like museums. We need this 3D map of the inside, and then they do their magic. You just have to open the phone and the camera on the phone. Right now, it's still on a native app, but that will be changed within a couple of weeks. So we will be on the web, and this is a game changer. So just having a link to the browser, we say, right, I just want to try to navigate or position myself in a museum or an airport. And then it opens the camera and it's positioning you. And I invite everybody to come to Munich to see it at the Deutsche Museum. We will have another proof of concept all around the globe in the future. But at the end of the day, you mentioned it, it's just the beginning. So augmented reality is this where the companies come from. Svarmony is a track record of 15 years in augmented reality. So the fun part begins after the wayfinding. The wayfinding is the must. This is what we provide with the Aryve product now. But the additional information, advertisements, service information, those kind of things, this is the future. And for sure, we're not want to walk around like this. We're not doing this. We're not having in front of our face the phone. We will wear glasses in the future. And the killer application for glasses is indoor navigation. Outside, it's there's solutions. Google Maps, we have Immersal, those kind of guys can help with that. But inside, it's the hard and funny part. Yeah, so this is what it is. It's called Aryve. And you see, I'm passionate about it.
Well, I love how excited you are about it. It makes me excited about it as well. And I actually do really love their like branding and positioning. I think it's very clear what they do on the website. So if it works as well as you say it does, like I am all for it. I find that there is a need for that indoor positioning and like being able to navigate big areas, whether that's like an airport or, you know, a shopping center or just getting to the aisle inside of one specific store is always very helpful. So I think that there's just like so many good applications, even outside of this, like when it goes to public transportation or when it's like helping maybe, you know, someone who has like special needs to navigate indoor and outdoor as well. So just like bridging that gap is such a need. So I'm excited about this too. Well, that is our show for this week, everybody. Thank you so much for your time with us. Karsten, thank you for joining me and being flexible about the time with the time zone difference. And as always, if you have show ideas, news for us, or just want to reach out with any, you know, additional feedback, we welcome that. You know where to find us. And we look forward to seeing you all next week. So thanks so much.
Thank
Have a
you
great
so
day.
much, too.